Previously on CandyApple's Next Top Model. Toxic Techno felt the need to no longer take part in the competition and dropped out, leaving us with only 6 finalists. So, in a last-minute decision by myself and the judges, we let Mitch back into the cycle. The final 7 were given each one of the 7 dorks and told to take a photo in an extremely high fashion or an extremely commercial way. Some of the models rocked their dorks, others were just left short. There was also a challenge given by Anna from Wango Tango, one of the permanent judges. It was a back-to-school style challenge. In the end, Giselle won immunity with her sparkling personality and one-of-a-kind back-to-school style. When the assignments were judged, Gabe and Laura were unable to turn in an assignment, landing themselves in the bottom 2 with only their previous photos for the judges to decide who should be eliminated and who should stay. But in the end, it was Gabe who was eliminated and Laura was saved. Will she make a comeback this week and land herself back on top? Or will the other Laura continue to stay in the #1 spot? And who will be number 2? Sam and Katie still duking it out, or will Giselle or Mitch wiggle their way in? You'll just have to stay tuned for tonight's episode of CandyApple's Next Top Model. Welcome back, models, contestants, viewers, and judges, to CandyApple's Next Top Model. Tonight we have with us a fabulous panel of judges and an amazing list of prizes. We finally agreed on what the prizes are, so stay tuned for the end of the video to find out what they are, what you're modeling for. We have with us tonight our normal batch of do-gooders. We have Jessie from Total Misfits, Anna from Wango Tango, and Justin from Abduction Productions, as well as myself, Ash Stone. Tonight's special guest judge is none other than Lauren. She actually had to drop out from the cycle, and I let her come back as a guest judge. We did something very out of context this week, something we hadn't done yet. We informed the winner of the challenge before the actual episode video aired, and the winner this week was Laura. Congratulations. You had the most correct answers on this week's model challenge. But since this was a pairs assignment, you and your pair, which means you, Mitch, are safe from elimination. That means, but you will each be called out as individuals this week on your individual performance. Also, since Laura shares her immunity win with Mitch this week, she gets another special prize and gets to have one of her photos become CandyApple's default for this week. So, this week you all had a challenge. It was something that I personally had done before and quite enjoyed. It was a partner's assignment. It was also to see how well you could sell an item, and as well as how well you could work with a partner. You had to do a photo with both of you. You both had to be selling an item, so it kind of had to be like an ad for something. And you also both had to have something to do with blood or gore, that kind of thing. So I wanted you to kind of, make characters and that thing. You also had a self-evaluation as well as a partner evaluation, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But I was really excited that almost all of you had only positive things to say about your partner. First of all, you all had a challenge, and all of you but one of you did the challenge this week, which is actually funny because the one person who didn't do the challenge is the person who suggested that challenge. Let's get on with the judging this week. first, let's talk about our challenge winner, Laura and Mitch. Laura won the challenge. She had the most correct answers. Mitch had the second most correct answers, actually. But since Laura won, both received immunity. So congratulations. You are each going to be evaluated individually and then as a group. So let's look at Laura's photo first. I feel that your photo is a little dead, actually. It's kind of boring. It's kind of, you know, obviously you're selling the hat though, and that's what makes this important. We chose the sepia version because I feel it had more of a artistic edge and like a grr to it. But the colored version with you just wasn't as strong, I don't think, wasn't as intense. Now Mitch, aside from actually wearing a hat in your photo, I never would have gotten that you were selling this hat. It's rather boring, actually. You know, I'm still waiting for that wow factor. It is a step up from last week. You've improved. But modeling you against your partner in this photo, Laura, she's outshining you by a lot. You both only had positive things to say about the other, so I was really excited about that. Next up this week, pair 2, which is Sam and Laura. You both had partner evaluations, and you both, you know, evaluated each other and you evaluated yourselves. The one issue was that, you know, you didn't communicate, both of you, a couple of times, which wasn't a big issue, but because of that, Sam, you did get your photo into me on time, just as it was due. And Laura was actually a couple hours late getting her photo in, but she did tell me in advance, so I let it slide. I love the fact that you both kind of came up with your own thing and combined it together. Alright, so let's look at Laura first. Everybody this week had only positive things to say about your modeling and your photo, Laura. And that's great, considering last week you were in the bottom because you didn't turn in a photo. So that's awesome. That's amazing. And I love the dark feel. Everybody loved the dark feel. Alright, let's look at Sam. Sam, your diamonds this week are very obviously edited on there. And considering that you got to pick what you were modeling, I wish it hadn't been so obvious, I guess is what I'm saying. And I wish you'd picked something that you both could have kept. Glad that you both looked at concepts and you both kind of looked at ideas. Sam, your photo, yeah, it's beautiful. It's really pretty. But once again, it's kind of like the others. It's kind of boring, kind of, you know, not quite there. I feel like without the editing, with the editing on diamonds, you would have been selling nail polish, not jewelry. And now our final group, Katie, you're stunning. You guys are selling jeans. It's so obvious with your pose. You both worked really well together as a team. You both had positive things to say. I'm really happy about it. I understand you both had, you know, a pretty busy schedule this week. And Katie, you can't tell that in your photo. You can't tell at all. You're gorgeous. You look like a serial killer that's, you know, perfect. Everybody agreed that you stood out more than Giselle did. You really outshined her in this photo. The one thing that somebody said was that they don't think that you should have been doing the same pose almost. It's very obvious with Katie that she's selling jeans. Now, Giselle, I love that you went all out, you know, that you're really in the moment. But like one of the judges said, Katie's more posed and showing off the jeans, whereas Giselle's right out of a horror movie. And they didn't notice your jeans at all, actually. One of the judges actually says that Katie's yummy. Everybody focuses on Katie. Now, I know that my editing's not the greatest in this. Katie outshined you. Katie you know, part of the pairing with you two I thought was going to work was that Katie's edgier, Katie's darker, Katie's, you know, Giselle, I know you're happier and you're more commercial, and the judges have yet to see you be edgier and high fashion, and, you know, it's cute, it's good, but is it enough? I guess is the question.
Deliberating in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. This deliberation was the hardest so far. They just keep getting harder and harder as we go, and this week was no exception. None of the judges agreed, like, at all, on who should get first call out and who should get last call out and who should get eliminated. So it took a little longer. I'm sorry about that. I give you harsh deadlines. So I'm going to keep making sure we stick to ours. Alright, so first call out this week goes to Katie. Your photo is amazing. It was so artistic, so model-esque, so edgy, so you. Make sure we get to see your softer side here soon. Second call out this week goes to LOR Lore. This is a harder decision because to me your photo wasn't as amazing as everyone else's, and if you didn't have immunity this week, I really think your photo would have gotten called a lot lower. Next, Lore. Mitch. Lore getting immunity for you guys as a pair actually saved you this week. You definitely would have been in the bottom 2 and possibly eliminated if you hadn't had that immunity to save you. So, alright, the bottom 2 this week was like the only thing just about all the judges could agree on, which was Giselle and Sam. Sam, with you, we question whether or not you're relying too much on editing and not enough on modeling. And we also question, if you're serious about this, and that's a big deal. Also, your photo it was so weird that in the edit that I made, Laura was darker than you. She was in the background, and yet still we looked at her before we looked at you. Where you stand out a crowd, do you have, that, or can you be consistent? Because, you've been in the top 3, and now you're in the bottom 2. Giselle, with you, we're really proud that you've come this far being with these experienced NTMers. But the question at this point is, can you be anything but commercial? Can you be anything but cute and adorable and, you're a sweet girl, and that seems to come out in your photos a lot. We want to know if you can be a little edgier, a little less cute. This decision was really hard for us to make as a group, but the person safe and who will continue on in the hopes of becoming CandyApple's next top model is Sam. You've shown a little more diversity than Giselle. Giselle, I'm so sorry, sweetie. I was definitely rooting for you this whole time. I really enjoyed your photos, and I really thought you were I'm so proud of you for going so far. And we really hope to see you in a future cycle when you have this experience. Now take it, learn from it, and, continue on.
May I remind you again, this is a dream. And in dreams,